Hello everybody and welcome to the Awesomenauts League with Bets. My name is SlowWolf and I'm going to be your caster for this series between Team Boss and Team IWTN, or team insert weighted name here, your choice. I like IWTN, it sounds more hilarious. In the first match of the series, Team IWTN actually ended up taking it, but it was a close call for a little while there. There was one fight in particular that I had to go back and rewind to see because I had no idea what happened. Team Boss managed to get a really good wipe. They got a lot of ground. They almost ended up taking the game back, and it was just so unfortunate that that one bad fight turned everything back around on them. And Team IWTN, fortunately for them, they managed to take everything in the first match of the series. But that's not the whole series. We've got another match ahead of us, and if it's anything like that last game, I'm not going to be able to breathe for a week. So let's get this party started in 3, 2, 1, go! So as you guys can see, we are on Awesomenauts being one of the most gank-heavy maps in the game. Structured a lot like Ribbit, but at the end of the day, it's because there's no bouncer in the middle and all that. Like it's more gank-heavy. If you're out of position, it's painful. So let's go ahead and take a look at starting items, or actually just starting characters right out the bat. So Kurt, Team IWTN on the red team, Team Boss on the blue team. Kurt taking up a Genji. We've got Big Man Barbs taking up his Yuri one more time, and we've got Savong on Ayla, who ends up getting tongued by Boss's Leon, but he's going to be perfectly fine. So, unfortunately, they weren't able to quite make anything happen. Another tongue coming out from Kirby Derby. Oh, explode! Snare bite! Oh my goodness! Big Man Barbs goes down to the explode. Right out of the gate, too. That was really well played. Leon and Clunk showing why they are still extremely valuable characters in this game. As if anyone had any doubt that Leon was any good. But let's go ahead and go over their team quickly to Bowser Slave on the infamous Clunk that he has. Everybody knows Bowser Slave is good on that Clunk, and now he's got it, so that's always good for that team. Kirby Derby on Leon, and we've finally got Cannoli on Coco, who ends up taking a 40 damage but Savong disconnecting. Blue team deciding against their more callous judgment, I suppose, to not kill him instantly for that disconnection, so that was probably very nice of them. Invis coming up, Kurt's going to end up taking it, I believe. Little push coming out on this top turret right here. Cannoli doing some damage with his left click as well as Bowser Slave. Kurt being the only one who can really do in any position to do anything about it. And Genji goes right back down here. So let's go ahead and talk about some item pickups right out of the gate. Genji picking up the damage over time on his left click as well as some actual damage. He does not have access to Cocoon, nor does he have access to Shield. Right now, he's just a left click damage machine. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but that's the item pickup he went. So let's see how it works out. On Big Man Barbs, we've got Solar Tree, we've got base abilities. Okay, that's pretty solid. It's a good way to start. Even though base Bubble isn't necessarily seen as a very good base ability, a lot of people do enjoy it. I'm of that school of thought. I think that having that ability is far more useful than not having it. Having abilities is the most useful 135 solar you could possibly spend, I believe, at any point in time. On the Ayla, we just have base abilities, and that's perfectly fine. Going for no solar items on a character that can farm as well as she can is totally reasonable. On the blue team, we've got Bowser Slave, who's managed to pick up base abilities, boots, and Solar Tree, so he can guarantee his farm. That's pretty standard on Clunk. On Leon, we managed to pick up base tongue and the boots, actually. So not picking up Invis. Invis, which is not a guaranteed getaway, but it coupled with good juking can get you out of almost any situation, bar none. Little tongue coming out onto Savong, but it's not going to be enough to really do anything. It's just a tongue for harassment purposes. Kirby Derby looking to pick up some extra solar down here, and he is going to end up picking up about 5. Kurt going to go ahead and wipe out this wave with the help of Savong. And then finally on the Coco Cannoli here, we've got just base abilities. Again, Cannoli is playing a very late game character. Going for base abilities without having to go for solar items is a pretty reasonable way to go about things, just so that way you can guarantee that your late game is as strong as possible. However, it does mean that you have to get there, and that's where Team Boss is going to have their hardest time. Just getting to that late game is going to be a little bit difficult, especially with the Ayla. If they cannot deal with that Ayla properly, and let's face it, they've got a couple of team members that have a difficult time against them, specifically Leon and Clunk, that Ayla is going to tear through their team. However, they do have their ace in the hole, Coco being a very good counterpick to Ayla, as Blaze just completely murders her ability to do rage. Cannoli does end up getting hit by that mine after all, which is really unfortunate for Cannoli. But Big Man Barbs is doing a really good job of putting mines in places where people have to go. That's probably one of the biggest places to put mines. The other thing that mines can do, that was a really interesting way of doing things. That was actually a cool technique. I hadn't seen that. Yuri came down here and just dropped a mine through the bounce pad. That was really neat. But the other thing that Yuri can do is just come over here and drop a mine all the way down to the bottom lane. So they have the ability to lane control pretty well with Yuri's help. Oh, Yuri almost manages to get off the teleport, but that was all wasted time that he could have been farming or doing something else, as Bowser Slave just gets the missile right at the tip end of that. Bowser Slave taking a bunch of extra damage. Now, the other thing that's going on here is that this Genji pickup is going to really harm Boss's chances as well, because Cocoon is just so strong against everything that Clunk does. He comes up with an explode, Cocoon. He tries to bite and chase you, Cocoon. Everything, Cocoon. It gets rid of everything. On top of that, oh no, you actually got an explode off? I've got a shield. You dealt a lot less damage. Too bad. So Genji going to be really annoying for Bowser Slave here. But if Clunk can get off his stuff, we've seen games in this league so far where just a couple of well-placed Clunk explodes were able to completely turn a game around. And the difference between a well-played Clunk and a badly played Clunk is being able to just persevere through bad matchups like these and just go for it. The other thing is that Clunk isn't too badly... Oh! Speaking of Clunk being not too badly bothered by Ayla, that was exactly what I was about to say, since, especially early game, he can do bite snare explodes pretty easily on her, as she does rely on getting close to be able to do her rage deal. Currently, Savong sitting in with Rage Drawing's boots and Piggy Bank. She ended up picking up a mid-game Piggy Bank as well. No Solar Tree on... Oh wait, no, I lied. Sorry. Big Man Barb's picking up Solar Tree. So everybody on that team now has at least one Solar item, be it Piggy Bank or Solar Tree. On the other team, they decided to pick up at least a little bit of Solar item, but not very much. They only picked up Solar Tree on the Bowser Slave. Kurt looking like he might be in a bad spot. Bite does not end up hitting anybody, unfortunately, for Bowser Slave, and very fortunately for Tavong. He would have probably died there if it hadn't been for that. Kurt looking to chase down Bowser Slave. He's doing a lot of damage right now. He also has access to Cocoon now, so he's doing just fine. He's managed to get past that weird, awkward first phase where he has no abilities, and now he's back on track. He's doing 16 damage a swing with his butterflies. That's extremely painful. Like, Genji just does so much left-click damage if you let him. His awkward movement is probably one of his only downsides. He's such a strong character, and it's good to see him being played here. Kurt taking a bunch of extra damage, Savong taking a bunch of extra damage from the turret as well. And Team Boss, right now, I haven't seen them, like, outside of Bowser Slave, they've just been farming, which is kind of what they do. Oh, Barrett, Snares Blade, boom, dead! Nicely played with the Lightning Ball as well. Team Boss coming back onto the thing. So, right now, as I was saying, it feels like all they're doing is farming, but they do have 3 kills. They do have 3 kills, and it's really impressive that it's just like, oh, well, we're getting solar, we're not being, like, super, you know, available to be killed or anything. Bowser Slave just being a really big, distraction, and completely occupying most of my energy right now. Like, it feels like he's the one doing most of the action at this point, and let's see if that's in fact true. Kills, deaths. Actually, no. It ends up being that Coco's picked up the majority of the kills, but I'd be hard pressed to say that Bowser Slave hadn't enabled the vast majority of them. So, Lightning Ball coming out. It's not going to hit anybody. Big Man Barbs is a little bit low, so he wants to be really safe around this. And Team Boss is just putting out pretty steady damage on this thing. That's one thing that Clunk can do really, really well. Oh, Cannoli takes a bunch of extra damage. Is he going to end up dying for it? No, he's not. He's going to barely end up surviving the dot and everything. Bowser Slave also going to get away. He manages to put out enough damage that it sends the other team home packing. Kurt puts out some Cocoon, and the bite is going to save Bowser Slave there. So let's go ahead and take a look at what that Cocoon has now. It has Jagra Eggs. Jagra Eggs being a really strong upgrade. It creates a huge difference in life total. It's a lot like a ranged bite once you pick up Jagra Eggs. The Cocoon is a lot like a ranged bite at that point, and we all know how annoying bite is. Bite is fantastic. So imagine putting that on a ranged disable ability. Yeah, it's a really strong upgrade. I suggest that everybody picks it up, no matter what kind of no matter what kind of Cocoon buildup you're doing. And blue team, Boss, just pushing away, doing their thing. Lightning Ball comes out. Big Man Barbs is going to take the damage, but no immediate follow-up, since Kirby Derby wasn't there to really help out with the tongue into Clunk, Snare, Explode, painful combo of doom. Bowser Slave going to take a Cocoon. He's going to take a lot of left-click damage, but the tongue is going to end up saving him as the tongue comes from behind and stops the Ayla from being able to chase effectively. And red team goes right back to pushing stuff off of their base. As it stands right now, Team Boss looking like they're putting out the majority of the damage on the turrets. Their objective-based gaming is doing a very good job right now. but it's by no means an exceptional lead right now in terms of solar. Everybody's kind of even. Bowser Slave pulling ahead of the pack, but only by 30 or so solar. Yuri in the 1,000 range now as well, as we start to pull into the mid-game in about the next 2 minutes or so. Lightning Ball going to come out. It's going to hit Yuri and Ayla. But no, again, no big-time follow-up right now because Kirby Derby's doing his thing. Cannoli going to come in, do a Blaze to get out. Tries to put out a Lightning Ball, but it's not enough to really harass or do anything. Savong is going to come in. He's got the Rage. Is Kirby Derby going to go down this? Nope, he's got a bouncer right there. Bowser Slave is going to try to come in from behind. And Savong is having a hard time staying connected, the poor guy. I'd be really annoyed if I was him. I'd be cursing and everything. It'd be terrible. But I'm a professional. And Savong is a professional too, so he's not going to go ahead and do all that kind of stuff. Instead, we're just going to keep the chat log hidden, so that way we can keep on pretending that no one got mad. Bowser Slave going to take a cocoon to the face. Savong might go in for the Rage. The Rage is real! And they're going to end up picking off Kirby Derby thanks to a really well-placed mine by Big Man Barbs. So, good job. They finally take their first kill. They're on the board now. They can actually go ahead and take this opportunity without the Leon to just start pushing. They don't have to worry about tongues into snares, or tongues into lightning, or tongue into blaze. Tongue is just terrible. Oh, wow! As I was just ranting about tongue, Evil Eye catching the Coco off guard. The bite's gonna miss, the explode is gonna miss, and Savong just gonna cheerily laugh as she skips away. Bit of extra damage coming on that bottom turret, and the red team looking like they're in a really good position now that they've gotten a little bit of farm. Their mid game becoming apparent, becoming a thing. Bowser Slave is just going to put out some missiles here, and he's going to continue to shoot out those missiles at this tower, and he takes a cocoon to the face, but he doesn't care because he's Bowser Slave on a clunk. He's going to get away just fine. Takes about a quarter of his life in damage, and then just walks it off. Bottom turret takes a little bit of damage as well. Big Man Barbs is in a really risky position right now. If Cannoli sees that, but I guess not. Oh, Snare Bite's going to come out. It's going to hit both of them. Wow! What? That was, whoa, okay. For a minute there, I was just like, oh, you know, stuff's going on. And then all of a sudden, boom! Snare Bite, explode, and just as one person's about to get out of it, the Ayla, someone gets tongued right back into it. And that explode hits 2 people, ends up getting those 2 people killed. That was pretty cool. Actually, no, the tongue wasn't back into it. The explode managed to hit, and just as the guy was about to get away, Kirby Derby manages to land the tongue. As they're getting away, snipe, as it were. So that was a really good double kill into a turret pickoff. Oh, Savong looking like he's going to take the death. Oh, no, he's not. Cocoon is going to say, no, you're not allowed to do that. Cannoli is just going to die. Bowser Slave trying to get away as fast as he can. He's getting lasered. He's getting curted, but Kurt can't quite land his butterflies of hell. This top tower ended up taking a bunch of damage in the meantime as the Super Droid just took the turret on and shot a couple of missiles at it. So, Super Droid's coming out, doing a bit of push. As a result, although the red team managed to pick up a couple of Super Droids worth of solar, it's about 10 solar a pop. It's only 20 solar extra, really. They did their job. They kept the lanes pushed while everyone kind of came back. So, turning a bad situation into a not as bad situation. Savong hopping around. He's managed to pick up both of the rage drawing upgrades. So that rage is now doing 10 damage a tick, which is impressive. Oh, bite! It's a snare explode into death! That explode is now dealing 75 damage. That is going to hurt a lot in the long run. That thing also has universal charger on it, so that explode goes off pretty much all the time. Cannoli's going to end up getting cocooned, but it's not really going to matter. Kirby Derby just sword slashing his way up and down the coast. Oh, Kurt almost gets snare bit. Doesn't quite end up getting caught by the Bowser Slave explode. And everything's going to go right back to normal, although it is currently a 3v2 advantage, and they can manage to pick up their HP fairly quickly as they have access to both jungles very easily. Both sides of the jungle, anyway. Lightning Ball going to come out. It's going to convince the red team to kind of sit back and play a bit safe. Where is the blue team right now, anyway? Oh, everybody's kind of up top here. Everyone's gearing for a fight. Kirby Derby running around, looking for solar, looking for things to push, looking for things to cut up and turn into French fillet. He's not going to end up finding anything. He ends up taking some damage in the meantime. Actually, Kurt looking to try to get a kill. Oh, Cocoon onto Cannoli. Are they going to be able to do something with this? Some left click is going to come out. Oh, Savong tried to come in with a rage out of almost nowhere. But it's not going to end up hitting anybody, unfortunately. So Savong is looking to become the carry to this team. He's got pills. He's got size on the explode. If he can play this off properly, he can get team wipes, but he needs to be able to play it off properly. Bowser Slave getting a snare bite onto Savong. That's really painful, actually. Rage coming out, and Savong is really low. Missile coming out is going to end up killing off that poor bastard. Kurt getting a pick off on Kirby Derby. Bowser Slave running the other way, making sure not to die. And Cannoli, same deal. They're both extremely low. They can't really defend. And the red team is now going to be able to get an unhindered push on this top turret. I expect it to go down. Even with just these two characters, that's going to be enough. They have more than enough HP to get this thing down. And more than enough droids. While we're on the topic, that is a lot. That was a pretty large droid wave before it got nuked. Kurt managing to do the same thing down here. Genji is surprisingly good at pushing lanes, but he's terrible at pushing turrets. So being able to get those droids from a long lineup of droids is a good way to do things. Rage coming out, Bubble coming out. Rage and Bubble are actually a really strong combination. In case no one really knew what was going on there, but that's a really strong synergy combination. Oh, Big Man Barbs did not want to pick up the invis, but had to pick it up in order to avoid having invisible snare clunks come out of nowhere. That's terrifying. But yeah, Bubble and Rage allow Ayla to effectively chase anybody everywhere all the time, and allows Yuri to get face mines very easily as well. It's super painful, and it's not to be underestimated by any stretch. Savon getting tongued, and he's going to be perfectly fine. Kurt looking for a cocoon is going to hit Bowser Slave. Bowser Slave going to walk it off and pick up another creep to get his HP back up. Cannoli putting out a lightning ball, and Bowser Slave trying to catch Savong, but he's going to get evil-eyed, he's going to get raged, and the rage is going to end up, unfortunately, flying her right into Kirby Derby's largely pointy maw. So that's the end of Savong there, and Big Man Barb's probably going to have to be careful as well. His escape is going to be covered by Kurt and his omnipresent cocoon, however. So that's pretty good for him. Big Man Barbs unfortunately gets caught out instead by Kirby Derby, and then Cannoli, as the instant that Kurt goes back and says, you know what, I could go back and do stuff. No, you just left the Yuri to die, sir. And Yuri unfortunately gets picked off. Kirby Derby looking to get a pick off on Kurt, but Kurt's playing very well now and making sure that he's not getting caught out by the tongue. Savong looking to get a pick off as well. Like everyone's trying to find an opening, and it's a little difficult as it stands right now, as they are missing their Yuri. And that's the other thing. They have a very defensive team. Between Genji and Yuri, they don't have any real chasing mobility outside of Bubble. And that's on a cooldown. Like, you can't just do that all the time. Evil Eye going to come out. Cannoli actually takes a bunch of damage. Kirby Derby looking for a tongue. Savon taking a bunch of damage as well from a bite. And that's going to be that, it seems. Teams go right back to just bouncing off each other. Equally, I might add. So, some other upgrades that got picked up. Both ranks of Jagger Eggs, Boots, and now Shield on Genji. So Genji is now an omnipresent disturbance all the time. Kurt is going to end up getting chased down by Cannoli a little bit. Bowser Slave looking to get the explode. It's not going to end up hitting anybody. And Kurt's sitting there with a shield. He's just waiting for his team. Where is his team? Bowser Slave. Oh, that had to hurt. The combination of lasers and rage able to manage to pick up a double kill there for the red team. It is now a 3v1 advantage. And Kirby Derby sitting at about half HP. He's going to be able to keep lanes pseudo-clear, but if the red team wants to push, they're going to get the push that they want. Kirby Derby taking a couple mines to the face, and unfortunately now cannot defend in the least. This bomb turret is most certainly going to go down in favor of Team IWTN, and it looks like that they have picked up the ground that they need to make this a 2-0 series. Could this be the real life, or is this just fantasy? Because right now, IWTN's got a landslide. And Boss is going to have to pick this up. But it's interesting because all this momentum is going out in their favor, and Boss still has the lead in kills. And I have a feeling that maybe it was just that one team fight. It's more than likely that Team insert winning name here, has to do that at least another couple of times in order to cement this as a victory for them. Kurt picking off a good cocoon, but it wasn't a denying cocoon because now that was a problem. Shield's going to come out. It's going to reduce the amount of damage that everybody takes. Bowser Slave just barely going to get away. Savong, on the other hand, can't say the same for him. He ends up going down. And Big Man Barbs and Kurt are going to have to run away from the omnipresent danger of a Leon with access to stealth now. And he also has lifesteal and a terrible amount of damage between his chainsaws and his tongue. And he sucks. Being up against this Leon right now would be very painful and very annoying. Cannoli just going in between the lanes, pushing everything out. Bowser Slave doing more of the same. Big Man Barbs putting out some stuff, but he gets silenced, he gets pulled. That lightning ball is not going to be enough, unfortunately, to really do anything. Kirby Derby gets cocoon right next to the turret. He gets mined. He almost goes down, but he's going to end up getting out of there just fine because they have no ability to chase or do anything without that Ayla. Ayla just coming back into the game as well, but Kirby Derby's going to end up getting away. He's all the way back in base now, and he's managed to pick up more ranks and pills. So he's going to be even harder to get off your back. Another important upgrade that was just picked up on Clunk. He now has Rage Missiles. He now does a lot of extra burst. Cocoon coming out on to Kirby Derby, I believe. A lot of damage coming out on Cannoli as Kurt chases him down. And Red Team now looking like they're in an advantage here. Kirby Derby just manages to get away as well, as he hides in the bush all stealth-like. No one saw him there. That's another way to juke, is just don't juke at all. Just wait. If you can find a place to wait, people will continue to chase you thinking that you kept on moving, and you haven't. That's the problem with stealth. Stealth, you can do all kinds of things. Kurt gets chased down. Kurt gets away, though. Like, they just kind of, Cannoli just kind of gives it the chase to get rid of these creeps on bottom lane, which I believe is probably the smart choice to make here. So as it stands right now, momentum currently in IWTN's favor, although it is now stalemated. As both teams try to find their way about the map. Cannoli being smart to the mines that the Yuri is placing. What's going to go on here, I wonder. It feels like there's a fight stirring up here. Evil Eye being used, but aside from that, Kirby Derby picks up the Invis, which is funny. Invis Leon, who saw that one coming. Explode's going to come up, but it's not going to hit anybody. And now Cannoli's running for her almost dearly departed life. She managed to just get away. The return kill happening onto Tavong. Kirby Derby doing a good job with his tongue. That's another problem with Ayla with Rage, is that if you only just manage to miss a kill, chances are you're going to die for just missing that kill. And for next to nothing in return, because you just deal so much damage to yourself as well if you're not dealing enough damage to other people. So currently a 3v2 advantage. Ayla coming back down. She'll be back in the fight in about another 8 seconds. As the team boss clears out the lanes and looks for an opening on these turrets. Cannoli gets cocooned. There's a bubble that comes out. There's a ball that comes out, and it's not going to hit anything. Tavong puts out an Evil Eye, but it just tickles the Clunk. The Clunk does not care. And Team Boss now looking to put some serious damage on this top lane. And, oh, they're going to go in for a flank. Team IWTN manages to get a cocoon onto Cannoli. Cannoli gets completely caught out between Genji's painful left click and Evil Eye on the Ayla. So lots of bursts coming out, lots of damage coming out. It's going to end up picking up Cannoli, who was unfortunately at the wrong place at the wrong time, got caught out for it. Kurt doing some zoning. Tavong putting out some zonage with his Evil Eye as well. Speaking of which, no upgrades on that Evil Eye. Still base at this point, with the exception of, oh, no, 1 damage upgrade. So Ayla's Evil Eye now capable of doing some damage, and now they're in a bit of a rough spot. If they got caught out by a Clunk Explode, they have the mines in the right spot to deter people from doing such. But if people come in at the wrong time, that could have been an easy team wipe. That is not the case, however, as they play very safe and they manage to back off before Clunk can get in a good position to do anything. Oh, Cannoli might get caught out again, gets mined, but is going to get away just fine thanks to the speed on the surfboard. Cannoli's going to pick up an Invis, going to jump around. Oh, he's going to get a good lightning ball on Kurt. Kurt's running away as fast as his shield will take him. He's going to end up getting away just. Tavong takes a bunch of damage from the explode and then gets tongued to death, effectively. Tongue into stabbage equals pain. A little bit of backdooring coming out of Kirby Derby as he deals some extra damage on that turret. And now it is a 3v2 advantage for Team Boss, as they look to pick up another kill, maybe, if they can find it. But that's a pretty big if. Right now, Leon hitting his stride. Definitely hitting his stride. Cocoon coming out on Bowser Slave. Bowser Slave running away as fast as he can. He must have been trying to get an explode off, and then he got cocooned. So nothing really happened there. Lightning ball coming out. Kurt taking a bunch of extra damage from Kirby Derby. Kirby Derby's going to manage to get away from the cocoon that he was just cocooned in. He's not going to really care. Kurt takes another lightning ball to the face, and some more damage comes out for the blue team. So despite the fact that it looked like it was pretty grim for a second for Team Boss in terms of that engagement, they still managed to keep the lanes where they wanted them to be on the other side of the map, and they managed to bounce off the other team fairly equally. So that was really good. That's one thing that the Team Boss actually has, is a lot of sustain. Between Leon's lifesteal and Clunk's bite, they have an ability to regain their HP that is unprecedented. Like, it's an absurd amount of lifesteal and life gain, and they can turn a fight around if people aren't careful. Snare bite into explode almost manages to hit the full combo. Lightning ball hitting and making sure that Big Man Barbs has to run away. If that bite had hit, that would have been a very dead Big Man Barbs. Savon coming in with the rage. Bowser Slave is going to end up surviving because of a very well-placed Lightning Ball. Going to end up doing the burst necessary to take out Savon. Kurt now in a rough spot as he gets snare bit into explode into Lightning Ball, and he goes down. Big Man Barbs, the only one left alive. Mine comes down to Kirby Derby. Kirby Derby ends up getting taken out because of that snare bite, almost managing to hit, and Bowser Slave is going to deal a little bit of damage to that turret before biting and running away. The top turret does end up going down to Cannoli, doing a really good job of split pushing there, making sure that they ended up taking one turret and then forcing Big Man Barbs back. So, Boss started off the game really strong, kept going. There was a bit of a momentum change, but right now they're right back into it. They've taken this game right back to the point where they want it to be. And I would like to point out something. Let's look at this. Power Gloves being picked up on Cannoli. That is the big thing there. The reason why that's such a big upgrade at this point in the game is because A, it's late game. B, if Team Boss even gets an inch of ground, if they can push at all and they still have Coco up, it's game over for something. That is so much turret damage. She wrecks towers and cores so hard. Kurt taking a bunch of extra damage. He's going to Cocoon to run away. He's going to Shield to run away as well, using both of his abilities to be able to get out of there alive, which is probably the wise thing to do. Lightning Ball going to come out. It's not going to hit anything. And Team Boss just looking for an opening between Tongue and Snare Bites and Lightning Balls. They're just waiting for it. Cocoon coming out. Snare Bite. Is there going to be Explode? Not quite yet. Kirby Derby taking a mine to the face, and he's just going to go right back to clearing out these lanes and taking some extra HP off of them. Cannoli gets cocooned. There's a rage. There's an Explode, though. And Savano is going to end up going down. Savon going down, sorry. But, oh, wait, no. He didn't. He ended up living. Wow. What? 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 Kirby Derby going for some extra kills, though. He's going to pick up a double kill, and now it's just him versus Kurt. So, that was impressive. It looked like Savon was totally dead, and my eyes glazed for a second, and I'm like, wait, he didn't die? He got a double kill, and then Kirby Derby, in the middle of all that rage, just kept left-clicking and went for it, and showing off the power of Leon with lifesteal. Can take a rage, can take Genji's left-clicking, and can just say, you know what? No. No, no, no. I'm gonna deal damage, I'm gonna get some kills, and I don't care how much you're dealing. If it's not burst, I'm gonna shrug it off. Especially if there's multiple targets. He gets multiple instances of HP back. It's unbelievably strong. Kirby Derby managing to put out some extra damage. He's gonna catch Kurt, deal him about a half of his life bar in HP, and now Kirby Derby running away from the angry Ayla. Oh god, he's gonna get away maybe just barely. Yeah, he's gonna get away just fine. Kurt was looking for him, but he managed to dodge to the left just enough that they didn't see the little numbers pop up when Yuri was spamming his laser all over the place. So, as things stand right now, we've got the Team Boss, who's sitting with two turrets still alive and ready to go. And there are none left for the Team IWTN. So, things are looking really good for Team Boss. They are in the advantage. Can they keep it is the question. Oh, Snare Bite into Explode. Ends up missing both on Kurt. Kirby Derby going for kills, though. He just doesn't care. He's going to chop up Savon. And that's a killing spree now, and the leading kills. Kirby Derby looking to really pull this game together for his team. Leon is definitely one of the stronger carries in this game, if there can be roles like carry in this game. He ends up going down, though. And a really lucky bounce from Big Man Barbs manages to get him out of there before Snare Bite into Explode kills him. Oh, but is it going to be the end of him? Maybe anyway. Lightning Ball comes out. It's not going to be enough to actually end up catching him as it misses, unfortunately. So Big Man Barbs is actually going to get away and then just teleport as the blue team says, you know what? We don't need to chase that monkey. Let's just go for the core. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get a Snare Bite into Explode, and that's actually going to hit Kurt. But because of shield, he ends up surviving. Team Boss gets picked off. Double kill for Team IWTN, and they're going to go ahead and make good use of this. Can they make really good use of it, though, as Leon is now coming down, and they have an open core. Now, for those who don't understand the significance of that, Leon and an open core are not a fun thing to have, unfortunately, because that means he can just backdoor. And when he's got stealth, you'll never really see it coming. You can predict, but Kirby Derby looking to do something here. But he's the only one left on Team Boss alive right now. There's going to be another 10 to 15 seconds before the rest of his team is in a position to fight or do anything. Team IWTN managing to create some space and do some damage. Team Boss's Kirby Derby just jumping around, making sure that he can get what he can, and not playing the risky play of going for the back door on the core. Now that his teammates are back, though, they can maybe create the space that he needs in order to do that. That's the strategy that I see forming up here. But if they just get a good team wipe, they can do that too. So it's all good. Cocoon's going to end up missing here as Kurt runs away. Cannoli going to go ahead and clear out some lanes up here as well. So Team Boss has 2 extremely strong late game characters, and so does Team IWTN, but Team IWTN's late game characters tend to both be supporty in terms of their feel, in terms of their flavor. Genji doesn't do a lot of late game damage. He just makes sure that his team does extremely well. Yuri is sort of the same deal. He does a lot of damage, but it's more I can make my team so much better than it needs to be. And then they have a mid-game carry like Ayla, and unfortunately Savong was not able to really utilize Ayla's extremely strong late game. Kirby Derby is looking for it, and he's going to end up doing the back door. Red team run him back as fast as they can to really deal with him, and he's just going to invis back out and go right back to clearing lanes. So the amount of power that Team Boss has over Team IWTN is pretty impressive, just because they can force them wherever they want. Kirby Derby taking a bunch of damage from the rage, but he's just going to walk it right back off. If either Coco or Leon are left alive after a fight, or, you know, aren't dealt with quickly in a fight, they can just disappear and come back a little bit later. Snare Explode coming out on Savong. Savong going to take a lot of damage, but he's not going to end up going down. Kirby Derby looking to try to run away / deal with Kurt. He's going to take a bunch of damage. Kurt going to deal a bunch of damage right back. He's going to end up killing Kirby Derby. Kirby Derby goes down, but there's a Snare Bite. Is there an Explode? No, but there's a missile, and it's going to end up sending Kurt back home. Cannoli looking for an opening. He's not going to end up finding it, unfortunately. And Team Boss now down a member. Team IWTN making sure that their core does not go down. They end up picking off Kirby Derby, and that was a really good pickoff. And that ended up saving their core for now. So really good team fight capabilities coming out of this team. Kurt looking to do some extra damage onto Team Boss Bowser Slave, and Bowser Slave goes down. So that unfortunate cocoon that we looked like it was just harassment ended up being an entire kill, just because, hey, you know what, reasons. And Kurt ends up really simplifying something with just cocooning something. That's the thing. Cocoon isn't just, you know, an I don't want you to do something button. It's a I really don't want you to do something button, or I'm going to set something up for my team. Kirby Derby almost managing to pick up the kill onto Big Man Barbs here. He was so close. But he might end up picking a different kill up somewhere else if he can find it. He manages to find Savong and Kurt, and he deals them both a decent amount of damage, but it's not going to be enough to kill either one of them by any stretch. So he's going to go back to lane clearing at this point. Let's take a quick look at the upgrades as they probably span the screen. Yes, they do. Attack speed being picked up on the Genji, as well as shield potency, speed, and misfortune cookies, which allow his cocoon to deal even more damage, in particular to the Bowser Slave, to the Clunk. On Yuri, we've picked up heal, we've picked up slow, we've picked up time, speed up on bubble. We've also picked up damage on the laser and double damage on the mines, which is pretty, routine. On Ayla, we've managed to pick up a number of things as well, between the cooldown reduction and the incoming Bowser Slave into explode, Snare Bite into explode. He's going to end up getting picked off anyway, though. And Team IWTN looking to maybe pick up this thing in a 2-0 after all. They were in a position to do that earlier almost, and now they've taken the lead in kills. They've gotten a lot of really good team fights. They now have a solar advantage. It's looking really good for them. And again, maybe it has something to do with the upgrades. Maybe it has something to do with characters being really good against Clunk for the most part. Because if Clunk just explodes at the wrong time, or if there's a misplaced cocoon, that's how this game gets decided. Honestly, it's all down to that in these team fights now. It's down to that and Leon being able to get off some good damage. Oh, and they notice something's wrong, as one member of the blue team goes missing and then just back towards the base. So the game ends with IWTN looking like in the lead. They're about to take it, and then Coco picks up the invis and pulls a Leon, comes in behind the base, and just left clicks it down in a second or two, thanks to those power conductor gloves. As I said before, this upgrade just means that Coco does so much damage against buildings. If you let her get in behind that core, it's game over, and unfortunately that was the case. If everybody had just kept team fighting, it might have gone in IWTN's favor in the end, as they had, again, 3 really good team fight characters, in particular Genji and Yuri, really simplifying things for Ayla, making things really good for her. But Boss got just enough ground to take out all the turrets, and they had 2 characters that could really rip into buildings, and that ended up ending the game in their favor. taking the series to a 1-1 tied up series. The next game decides who takes it for reals. So, my name's been SlowWolf. I've been your caster for this match, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. We'll see you soon.